Hello, in this video we're going to be setting up CodeBlocks with SFML. Now, as you can see from an older video of mine, setting up a library with CodeBlocks or any IDE really is very frustrating. So this time I'm going to try to slow things down and structure the video a lot more. So let's do this. Step 1. Download the correct CodeBlocks IDE. If you check the video description, you're going to find a link to this webpage here, which is the download page for CodeBlocks. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go down to the Windows section, because this is a Windows tutorial. You will see that there are many download options. You're going to want to download the one here, which says CodeBlocks MinGW Setup. And this is simply because this is the only one here which actually comes with a C++ compiler, which is obviously needed. So to download it, you're just going to want to click on the sourceforge.net link there, and then it will just automatically start to download. And when it's finally finished downloading, you're just going to want to do a full installation of it. After installation, you should be able to just run CodeBlocks. Step 2. Downloading the correct SFML. So if you check the video description here, you're going to come to this download page for SFML. And we're going to want to download this one here. So what you just downloaded was a zip file, so you just want to unzip this to somewhere. I'm going to unzip it to my D drive in the programming libraries folder. Of course, you can extract this to wherever you want to. Step 3. Make a CodeBlocks project. So to do this, you just need to open up CodeBlocks as normal, and there should be a button here which says Create New Project. You're going to want to click on that, and you'll come to a page that looks like this. You might be tempted to go for this one here, but don't do that. Go for this one here, which says Console Application, and of course choose C++. Project title, I'm just going to call it SFML, and then put it somewhere. I'm going to put it into my programming projects folder, and then just press finish on this one here. So before we go any further, we're just going to check if you've actually downloaded CodeBlocks correctly. So open up main.cpp on the left here, and then click this yellow cog icon up here, which will build your code. And if you did it correctly, then it should say process terminated with status 0 blah 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 blah, which means you downloaded CodeBlocks correctly, which is great. Step 4. Tell CodeBlocks where SFML is. Now this is an extremely important step, and it's very common that people mess up on this one, so be careful here. Now back here on the left side, you're going to want to left click on SFML, and then go to build options. So doing that will open a very small window like this one here, and on the left here you'll see 3 tabs: the project name, debug, and release. You're going to want to select SFML for this step. So now that you're on the SFML tab, you're going to want to go to search directories, select the compiler tab, and then click on add. Now you want to click the 3 dots there and then look for wherever you downloaded SFML to. So I did it here. And then you're going to want to select the include folder and then press OK. And then keep this as a relative path, select no, and then click OK. After this, you're going to want to go to linker, click add, and then look for where you downloaded SFML to again. And then rather than doing the include folder, do the lib folder. Click OK, press no again, click OK, and then you're done. Step 5. Linkers. Now again, this one is quite easy to mess up, so pay close attention. So back in the build options, this time you're going to want to go into the debug tab, and then go to linker settings. So on this page here, there's a section called link libraries, and then down here there's a button called add. So click on that add button. Here we just have to link in our link libraries. So the first one we're going to add is SFML graphics. So just type in SFML graphics -d. Now we have to do the -d because we're on the debug tab here. So the next one we're going to add is SFML audio. So I skipped through that because, you know, it's pretty boring. Anyways, so you just have to click add, then type in these ones in that order basically, and that's pretty much it. So now that's done, we're going to go into the release tab. Click yes to save the changes. And then we're going to want to do the exact same thing. So type in SFML graphics, but this time we don't have to do the -d because we're not on the debug tab. So if you did that correctly, then link libraries should look like this for the release build, and then look like this for the debug build. Also important is that these are in the correct order. If they're in the wrong order, then just click these arrows to move them up and down. So the order should be graphics, audio, network, window, and system, and then exactly the same for release. So the final step is to enable C++14. So back into build options, go into the project name tab, and then on the compiler settings, look for a flag that says something like have GCC follow the C++14 ISO standard. Now if that's there, then great, just tick that flag. If it's not there, then you have to do this. New flag, I'm going to name this enable C++14, and then for the compiler flag section, just put -std is equal to lowercase c ++14, and then click OK. And then I'm just going to tick that flag, but of course if that flag is already there for you, just go ahead and tick that. Step 7 is to set up the dynamic link libraries, which is essentially just some copy and pasting. So for this step, all you have to do is you have to get to the folder where you downloaded SFML to, and then the root directory of our project folder, and then in the SFML folder, go into the bin folder, and then copy and paste all of these into the SFML, the project root directory, and that's it. And step 8 is to test if we actually set it up correctly and test if it works, basically. In the description of this video, you'll find this code here. You can just copy and paste this into main.cpp, and this will finally test if we actually got CodeBlocks and SFML working correctly. So if you click the build icon, hopefully it will build successfully, and if you click the run button, then you should be seeing a green circle in a SFML window. And if you did that, then it means you're done. You've completely done it correctly. Step 9 is to avoid future pain. Now, I'm not denying it, setting up libraries on Windows is a big pain, and likely if you want to make an SFML project, you don't want to go through all of this all over again, because that's just a waste of time. However, luckily for us, CodeBlocks has this lovely feature, but before we get to that, we're just going to right click on our project and press add file. And then you're just going to select all of these .dll files. Click open, click OK, and then after this just go to file, save project as template, and then we're just going to call this SFML empty, or just SFML. Now you're thinking probably why would I want to do that? Well, it's quite simple really. Now that you've done that, you literally never have to set up SFML ever again. You can go to create new project, use a template, and there it is, the one that we just created. Of course, these ones are ones that I have made, but this is the one that we've just made. So if we click on go, and then we have to choose a folder to save this onto. So I'm just going to make a new folder called new SFML project. Click OK. I'm just going to call this cool game. Click OK. And then we will have our main.cpp, and all the SFML stuff will be already set up, and we won't have to do it ever again, basically, because it will just run right out of the box. Yeah. So that means that if you're watching from the basic SFML game engine tutorial, then you can essentially just create the new project from the template that we just created, and you don't have to worry about setting up SFML ever again. Anyway, thank you for watching, and goodbye.